This thing on? Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Do it live. I think I'm live. This thing working? This thing on? Mic check. 1 2 1 2. There we go.
Do it live.
Now we're cooking with oil. What's up, you handsome devils? Whoa, what is up? All right. Aquero, gonna read your submission today. To be honest, I started reading it and I stopped it because I was so excited. Not excited, but I was like, this is a good story. I want to be surprised on the stream. You guys hear me all right? Well, Bill, welcome back. I actually remember Bill Wooten. I remember that name. So I appreciate you being back. Daphne, what's up? Now, is this the Daphne that submitted? What's going on? Man, we got some people showing up today. I wonder if 2 o'clock's a good time. Truthfully, what's up, Chris? Oh, I wonder if this is the Chris. Man, I got some people that I need to shout out. I don't know if this is the Chris that ordered a book, but there was a Chris from the last live that got a book, so I was pretty excited from that. Daphne got the entry. I appreciate it. So here's the thing. This is going a lot better than it was last time as far as views and comments right away. So I wonder if 2 o'clock is a better time on Friday. Originally, I was planning on coming on at noon, but that's okay, Chris. Even though you're not the Chris that ordered a book, you could be anywhere in the world right now, and I appreciate you being here with me. So anyway, yeah, I was going to come on at noon, but, we got a lot of people here. Truth be told, I said this last time, it's going to be sometime between like 11 and 2 that I usually start these lives on Free Camera Fridays. What's up? Man, all right, so I'm excited. A lot of things to cover. First thing I want to do, and I want to do this every Free Camera Friday. The first thing I want to do is I want to address my outfit. I purposely wore my T for Temple U t-shirt. Temple is where Sacramento in the house. Appreciate it. Temple's where I went to school, and a good friend of the channel, he actually did a project on the channel called Driving Delco. It's somewhere on YouTube. You can watch it about, just the driver ed production project. And he worked for the channel for a little bit as an editor and filmmaker, just for a summer. We're still a one-man show 90% of the time. But anyway, he is starting at Temple today. So, Mike, if you're watching this, I doubt you are because you're moving in. But maybe you'll catch it on the rewind. I'm rocking the Temple shirt just for you. Not sure how well this matches. I don't think it mismatches, but that's why I'm rocking my Phillies hat and not the tried and true blue. Because I don't know much about fashion, but I know that navy blue and black don't go together. That's my one thing I know. All right. So anyway, here's what I want to do at the start of every Free Camera Friday. So as you guys know, I got 2 problems. I got a ton of dash cameras that I don't know what to do with, and I got a ton of books that I'm trying to give away. So I thought I'd marry the 2. And if, we can get on these lives, promote the book, and also give away some dash cameras, could be a win-win. I got a goal to get 5,000 copies into circulation. If I could, I would give 5,000 copies away, but I just don't have the marketing budget to do that. But we will find a way. And as such, I want to make a video about this too. I'm doing a basically pay what you want. If you want a physical copy of the book, pay whatever you think it's worth, even if it's nothing and you just want to pay for shipping. I'm just happy to get the book out to you. I just asked for you to pay for shipping. That has 2 reasons. One, because I just can't afford to ship everything everywhere. And 2, something I learned, I actually worked for a radio station for a couple years, and I did promotions. And one of the most amazing things, and I see it in myself. This isn't judgment. I see it in myself, and I'm sure you guys, a lot of you would see it in yourself too, if not in others. But when something is free, people just instinctively take it, even if they don't want it. So part of the $5 minimum for shipping is not just because I can't afford to just ship this book all over for free. I mean, because I am eating the cost on producing the book. But again, I'm happy to get it out. Part of it is just that $5 will be enough for the person to be like, oh, it's free? Yeah, I'll take one, and then never read it, whatever it is. But just a little barrier to getting it will prevent the people who don't actually want it, who aren't actually interested, from saying, yeah, I'll take it for free. But yeah, I worked for a radio station. Man, we would give out like the cheapest, like cheesiest, like silliest things that like nobody in their right mind would ever want. But because it was free, people would line up and like literally wait in line for free things like a nail filer. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, when's the last time you used a nail filer? But just because it has a radio station logo on it and it's free, like, what are you doing? Yeah, so anyway. It's a little, and I find it myself too. I'm a Costco member, no big deal. It's probably the coolest thing about me. But, I'm walking around, they got free samples. Half the time I'm taking samples of food that I don't even like, but it's free. So I'm like, might as well try it, So yeah, free is a funny thing. I think it's not to get like too like psychological and deep, but I think, we're all just driven by this like, primitive brain that like all we're trying to do is like collect resources because we're afraid of famine. And when there's a resource to take for little to no energy or expense, it's like, yeah, we might as well take it because who knows when I'll need it. But because this isn't 2,000 years ago and we're not like scavenging for food in the Sahara, and it's 2024, that resource is a freaking yellow balloon. What are you, a beach ball, a yellow. We would give out these beach balls, and like, don't get me wrong, it was like kind of cool, but how many people need a beach ball? You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do with a beach ball? I took a bunch of them myself because I was like, oh, beach balls, that's fun. They're sitting there, still not blown up. It's like, people are funny like that. Anyway, so what I want to do at the start of every Free Camera Friday is, one, I want to thank the people who I know I can thank that had ordered in between. I know I shouted out some people on the live last week, but in the meantime, not in the meantime, between last week and this week, there was Chris from Texas who ordered a book from my website, and then I actually looked this up on Google, how you say, or YouTube, how they say, like, how do you say a name? Knesia. Apparently it's a Russian name, and in Russia it's said as Ksenia. Senya, but in English they say it as Ksenia. So I might have just said the same thing twice. I don't know. But Ksenia, who's actually from Delco, which I think is super cool. I really appreciate it. And then on top of that, she did the Venmo, pay what you want, and she was very generous. And so I really appreciate, if you see this, I really, really appreciate you supporting the cause. So, and then on top of that, there were 3 audio books downloaded. So what I want to do here is, and then my Kindle, the Kindle report, the ebooks, they only update like once a month. So, or just nobody bought them. I'm not exactly sure, but I basically didn't see any returns or any changes in the Kindle amount, the ebook amount. So if somebody out there did buy an ebook, I'll know it at the end of the month. But what I'm going to do is, let's copy and paste this. Free Camera Friday, episode 2. Today we are still giving away the Red Tiger F17 Elite Dash Camera. We got 3 entries. I don't know if you can see this here. Yeah, there we go. Over on the right side of the screen. We got 3 submissions today. We got an Uber ambulance story. We got close calls from Daphne. And we got what I titled, That's Assault, Brother. That is a phrase that I use way too many times. I've used it in a ton of videos. I've used it in videos coming up. There's a chapter of my book called That's Assault Brother. If anyone knows what movie I'm referencing by saying that, I'll give you a little golf clap. That's assault, brother. I say that like at least once a week. So anyway, we're giving away the Red Tiger full color night vision. I played the stream last week. Camera just blows me away. I absolutely love it. Now the goal today, last week it was 3 books, and we hit 3 books. Actually, we hit 5 books, and so today, you know, we're not reaching for the stars. We're not what's the term? You know, you don't want to overreach. Hey, can you guys hear me all right? I'm kind of far from the mic. Is this thing on? What's the saying? You know, you don't want to set the goals too high and make it unattainable, because then when you don't get it, you just get like ashamed and down that you don't hit it. Also, is this mic mono or stereo? I hope it sounds all right. If I'm coming out of one speaker, let me know. Audio input. That's right. It looks good. Okay. Anyway. This is my brain. This is my brain. This is my brain not on drugs. This is why I don't do drugs. Stay on topic, Ed. Stay on topic. So anyway, goal last week was 3 books, and including the 2 that were ordered in between, we hit 5 books. So we just want to match what we did last week. Let's hit 5 books today, baby. We just want to get 5 books. Gotta crawl for you ball. Gotta crawl for you walk for you run. Now paperback, we're gonna update. 2 were sold, so 229. Audiobook, 3 were downloaded, 54, and the Kindle's the same. So we're creeping up, baby. One at a time. That's all you can do. Brick by brick. You don't start off by trying to build a house. You don't start off trying to build a wall. You just start off trying to lay each brick as best as you can. And that's what we're doing. Brick by brick to a 5,000 brick wall. Let's do it. All right, what's up? Let me catch up on these comments, and then we will read some of these books. Before we do that, I gotta ask, how much coffee is too much coffee? Because this is my second 32 ounce today. And I'm leaking like crazy because it's sweating. In my head, iced coffee isn't as caffeinated. I don't know if that's true. And there's also a ton of ice in it, so it feels watered down. So I feel like, you know, coffee definitely is not good for my anxiety. But I feel like 64 ounces of iced coffee isn't like 64 ounces of hot coffee. So I don't feel as, you know, if it was hot coffee. It's also summertime. I don't know. Maybe I'm just lying to myself. I'll get back to you when it's 2 a.m. and I'm staring at the ceiling like, ah. All right. Hey, we got this. I want to get this in here. I wish I could. You know what? You know what I want to do? I'm going to hang like a right here, and I'll have the count going. Too much coffee is while you're on the toilet. All right, let's go. Let's catch up on these comments, and I'll read what's going on. Bill, I'm glad you're back. Sub for years now. Richard Wilkins, appreciate you. Oh, thanks. Hear and see me clearly. Appreciate it. Cerveza Man. Oh, beer. Cervezas. Beer, right? Is that right? Am I reading that right? Anyway, Richard, appreciate you making it out to the live stream. What's up? Text in the house. Oh, sweet. Haven't finished the audiobook yet, but I believe we are chapter 8. It's awesome, by far exceeding our expectation. A+ on narration. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the comments too of people, saying good things about the book. Again, I said this last time. It's a little weird promoting my own stuff, but just got to do it because no one else will. And I think one day I might forgive me in advance, but I might make a video of reading the reviews, which I don't love because it's it feels a little you know, I don't know, a good analogy. It feels a little like looking in the mirror and praising yourself. Nobody wants to watch that. But I'm trying to promote this book, and at the end of the day, not to go all Kanye on you, but I know I'm a good writer. I know I'm a good storyteller, and I know some of these stories in here are pretty good. Not all of them. It's not for everyone, but some of these stories I think I retold pretty well. And as anyone who drives Uber, I'm how do you say this? I'm playing with it's like a cheat code. This is just real stuff that happens when you're driving Uber. The content that you're given from real life, from adults drinking alcohol in excess and being themselves and being free in a stranger's car, is you get good stories from it. So anyway, if you put something on the cube with free, it's gone before you bring. On the cube. I'm not sure what the cube is, on the table. But yes, that's exactly what I was saying with it was B101 for those in the Philly area. I was at B101. Appreciate. Hello from Canada. Bought the book in the UK. Man, that's pretty cool. Internationally known, yet still locally disrespected. Happy Friday to my brother in Boston. If you're drinking coffee from the UF, it's too much. Yes, I am. It's Wawa coffee too. Coffee. Too much coffee is when you're on the toilet. Yeah. Caffeine makes my colon explode. Can't drink it. Man, we're really getting into it. Well, since we're touching the topic, I mean, there was a time in my life where it was pretty much a routine where it was okay, morning coffee and then morning trip to the bathroom. And at one point, I was like, it's probably not good that is dependent on coffee. So I tried to figure out how to wean off of that. Thanks. I'm trying to post more videos lately. Cerveza Man, Beer Man. I read it perfect. And I sign every single book that I can. I do have a new car. I actually made a video about it. I'm doing a lot more just B-roll videos because I've said this in my videos before. One, I don't love just sitting there talking. Personally, I don't like watching videos of people just sitting there talking. Live's a little different because we can interact, of course. And I love B-roll car footage. There's a lot of channels out there that I think do really cool. That Nick something, he goes in a lot of cool neighborhoods. There's another one. He or she's always in bad neighborhoods in Philly and Chicago. But yeah, I just love B-roll footage. So I figure if my narration's over that, it's a little more fun. So anyway, long story long, there's a video coming out kind of soon where I explain the new car situation. A lot of B-roll footage. So I really hope my videos are you put it on while driving, or maybe you're going for a walk or at the gym or something. Of course, there's some videos that are more engaging and watch and whatever it is. But this day and age, and I talked about this with Peter Stuber last time, there's an element of social media where I just think it's bad, and what it takes to win on social media is not necessarily something that I want to engage in. These 15-minute videos with flash cuts and this, that, and overexpression and whatever it is. And it's I just, I like some of that old school, just storytelling, hang out, have it on in the background, relax. You don't need to overstimulate everything. So, if my videos can encourage you to kind of do something in the background and relax while you're walking or something like that and think, feels like you're hanging out in the car. You know what I mean? Some of my favorite things are a road trip with your buddy. Like I went to a bachelor party last year, and it was in North Carolina, and like I was very excited to go down there and hang out with friends, but I was just as excited for the 7 hour car ride with my buddy, just because it's like you're just hanging out. It's easy, you know. You got nowhere to be except what you're doing, and whatever comes. So I kind of like I'm kind of I tried to play along with the YouTube game for a little bit, and some videos I liked it, and occasionally a video I'm making might call for that. But the videos I like to make most, I think, are just kind of like exactly what I'm talking about. I wish you were hanging out in the car with me and shooting the shit or whatever it is. So that's kind of where I'm at with these B-roll footage. Oh, the Wanderer. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And you already got a book. I appreciate it. Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm going to, I don't know if I can count that as a book for the tally, but I'll count that towards the goal of hitting a book sale. So I really appreciate that. How about that? I think that's fair. We'll keep a tally for the books in circulation because that's the ultimate goal. But for the goal, maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, no, it definitely counts. I mean, of course I'm going to count your generosity. That definitely counts. So we're going to count that as one book out today. Well, I really appreciate it. Like the videos of the passengers as well, and the music videos, appreciate it. Very cool. I miss my Nana too. Very cool. Awesome. Well, funny since you second that, Jim. Like I should say, the thing about conversations with passengers is, in 2025, I've talked about this a little bit before, but people just get so tense and nervous with a camera around because everyone's like, they're just worried about like what it could mean. And it's honestly kind of sad where what it used to be when I started in 2018, how excited people were and friendly. And now, I think it's a mix between people are nervous to be on the internet, and two, people are just like so engrossed in their phones. It's disgusting. Yesterday, I was walking by and there's like a restaurant with tables outside. There were 3 teenage girls out with their friends. They're like dressed up, they're having dinner. All 3 of them sitting at the table, locked into their phone. I go to get ice cream. I come back maybe 15, 20 minutes later. Might have even been a little longer. And they're still, all 3 of them, locked on their phones. And, I'm sure they were talking at times, but it's just like, I'm sure it wasn't all the way through. But it's like, you're out with your freaking friends. Like, what is, it's just, it's kind of, and that's like, I share that because I have that experience a lot in Uber where I'm like, you got 4 people, 3 people in the car going to the bar, whatever it is, and they're not talking and shooting the shit. They're on their phones. And occasionally they'll be like, oh, look at this, or so-and-so said this. And it's like, dude, be where your feet are, man. Like, have fun with the people you're with. It's kind of crazy. All right, so let's get into it. We got 3 submissions today. Now, last time I told you I was a little nervous nobody would enter into the Free Camera Friday entrance thing. So I actually asked, and we ended up having 3. Well, we had 2 submissions and 1 from me. But I was honest. It was me. I told you. So I actually asked ChatGPT to make submissions, and I kind of want to see how it turned out. I wonder, it's already 2:30. What do you think? You guys tell me. Do you want the ChatGPT entries to see how they did? There's 3 of them. Or should I jump right into the actual submissions from drivers? You let me know. And thanks for watching the music video. The thing is, doesn't have a good click-through rate. People aren't clicking it. But the people who do watch it like it. And I have to say, it's one of my favorite videos I ever make. It's not often where I laugh at my own videos, but I watch that. And I laugh out loud. The part where, and I mean, this is chance. Not like I knew exactly what it was looking like. But the part towards the end when my head comes out of the smoke, that is just so ridiculous. Gets me every time. Oh my gosh, man. What is going on here? Thank you so much. The Wanderer, too kind. Thank you. Man. Can I send you another book? Like, this is just, this is too kind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so what are we thinking? Are we, does that mean the chat entries from the computer? From AI, or the chat, like, you know, the people in the chat? Chat GPT entries? And Vaquero, I know you're a little biased. I don't know if I can take your vote, to be honest, because, you know, I know why you're voting for stories. We got an entry. We got 2 entry members in here right now. That's the last thing I thought of, Wander. You were very generous. I really appreciate it. All right, I think we got 1 for the Chat GPT entries. If we don't have any other, plus, you know, yays or nays. Yeah, you can vote. Wanderer can vote. Submissions. You're also biased. I know what you're doing. You're just hoping you get to the winner. All right, I think Wanderer is going to be the deciding vote. So Wander, ChatGPT or submissions? Because we got two biased for the submissions. And we got 1 for the ChatGPT entries. The ChatGPT entries will always be there, so yeah. Flip a coin. Oh, I don't even have a coin on me. I don't think I have a coin. How do I not have a coin? All right, I got floss. If we land Oral B side up, we're going to do we'll do ChatGPT. If we blank, we'll do, actually no, blank will be ChatGPT because it's soulless. And if we land color up, we'll do submissions. Here we go. It is blank. We will do ChatGPT real quick. All right, so I asked ChatGPT, you are an Uber driver, and I find this stuff fascinating. I'm actually working on a project that I'm really excited to share with you guys. I was thinking about sharing it today, but it's a storytelling app that... Wait. Okay, Wanderer said wait. But anyway, before I get to that, it's a storytelling app, and I'm excited to share it. And not only can I do stuff with this channel with it, I can do stuff with you. It landed on the keyboard. I know you couldn't see it. It was tough. Wander, I feel like you're second guessing it. Like, do you want the stories? Anyway, hopefully next week I'll have this storytelling app, and it'll be really cool. And you know, I can take things and we'll get to it. But stay tuned next week. uh, aside from the submissions, and aside from I won't do any Chat GPT things. I will have a cool thing to show you guys. Hopefully next week, if not the week after. All right. So, point is, I share all that because I find fascinating what's going on with AI and just like how just wild it can be. Like it can be so true to life, but then there's always missing that like element of reality, right? So I asked ChatGPT, you are an Uber driver and you don't have a dash cam. You're submitting a true story regarding something that happened while driving Uber to a contest where you will win a dash camera. The contest is tell me a story where you wish you had a dash camera. Tell me a story. ChatGPT said, here's a compelling entry for your dash cam contest. Grounded, vivid, and true to the rideshare experience. Title, The Phantom Vomit. Yes, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I wish I had a dash cam the night of the Phantom Vomit. Not just for proof, but for closure. It was a quiet Tuesday about 11:30 p.m. I picked up a guy from a dive bar in South Philly. He was mid-30s, looked a little buzzed, but nothing wild. He got in, polite, said, hey man, plugged in his address, and off we went. That right there doesn't make sense because the address would already be in there. 10 minutes into the ride, I hear a faint herk sound. I glance back. The guy's staring out the window, calm as can be. No mess, no smell, nothing on his clothes. I assume maybe he coughed or choked on spit. I ask if he's all right. He gives me a thumbs up. We get to his apartment. He thanks me, gets out, closes the door gently. I glance back again. Spotless, no issue. But then, about 5 minutes down the road, I start to smell it. That unmistakable sour stench. My stomach drops. I pull over and flip the dome light on. Boom, there it is, vomit, on the floor behind the passenger seat, half hidden under the mat, like a sniper attack from below. No warning, no apology, no tip, just stealth puke and exit. Now here's the kicker. I reported it to Uber, hoping for the standard cleaning fee. But guess what? The passenger denied it, said he didn't throw up, said I was trying to scam him. Uber hit me back with, unfortunately, we could not verify the incident. No cleaning fee will be issued. If I had a dash cam, just one little video showing this dude making a noise, maybe leaning over, maybe muttering sorry, I'd have my $150. Instead, I had to clean it up myself at 1 a.m. with a bottle of Resolve and the slow death of my dignity. So yeah, I need that dash cam. Bad. Not gonna lie, slow death of my dignity is a funny line, and it's something that I feel like every Uber driver can relate to. That said, I also think the fact that Uber, doesn't support the driver, I think got to give the AI credit for recognizing that. That said, everything else about that is kind of unbelievable. Like, how can somebody throw up in a car and you not know it and not smell it and you don't see it until he gets out? Like, I don't know. It's kind of dumb. All right, we're over the Chat GPT. Fair enough. Doesn't like that. All right, here are the submissions for the Free Camera Friday. We have 3 submissions: an Uber ambulance story, close calls, and that's assault, brother. The Uber ambulance, submitted by Naveed. A few weeks ago, I was on my way to pick up this guy. When I got there, he was already standing in his driveway with his wife beside him. She told me that he dislocated his shoulders, and she told me that he dislocated his shoulder. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you see that? There we go. She told me that he dislocated his shoulder and needed to be taken to the ER, but can't drive him herself because she has 2 little ones at the house. So he got in. I asked him how it happened, and the response was not really what I expected. He said him and his wife were having sex and somehow he dislocated his shoulder. which I thought was very funny. Also, I hit a speed bump on a dark road which sent us flying in the air and this poor guy in the back in agony. That did not make me feel good about myself. That's pretty funny. I've never had a sex related injury ride to the hospital, but there have been a few times where I've definitely picked up from the hospital, which I don't love. You know, this might not sound like the nicest thing, but it's like when I'm pulling up to the hospital and you have like a bloody bandage and I don't know who you are, it's like, ugh, I don't want your bloody like arm wrapped up getting in my car. And then, you know, same thing, like picking up people from the hospital and they're like obviously very ill. And don't get me wrong, you feel bad that they're ill, but like I'd rather not be in a car with them as they're like, you know, coughing and like breathing all this, like, you know what I mean? It's just um, like I don't know what they have, but whatever it is, I don't want it. And then there have been a few times where giving rides to the hospital. I feel like there was one instance where actually there's been quite a few you know, there's quite a few hospital rides that are like appointments, you know, appointments for like some serious medical issues. And that's like, you know, that's always like perspective shaping. You're like, man, it's just wild to think, you know, like one ride you're driving somebody complaining about going to work because they don't like their job. And then the next ride you pick up someone and you're taking them to like the cancer wing of the hospital for chemo. And it's like, man, if the person who hated their job, like, would they complain to this person? You know, it's just it's really it really like just makes you think about a lot of things, you know. But there was one instance, I can't remember what it was. I feel like it was like something with a leg or something. But the person was telling me like if they called an ambulance, it'd be like super expensive, or maybe the ambulance was there, so then they called an Uber instead. And I remember thinking, I was like, man, this is kind of like, so if you took an ambulance, this ride would be $10,000, but I'm getting $7,000. Like, what if we meet in the middle? You know, what if you hit up your insurance to break me off a couple $100? So that is the Uber ambulance. That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. I like it. All right. That's obviously number one because that's the only option we got. I drove taxis in the old days. COVID killed the trade, COVID and Uber. But never had weird rides. Only did airports and long journeys. That makes sense. If you're only doing airports, you know, people flying usually keep it together. And then long journeys. Most people go into long journeys like, you know, kind of chill. I do know CPR. Yep. All right, close calls in a crazy town. This is submitted by Daphne. I started driving Uber Eats, and Daphne, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but if so, thanks for submitting. I started driving for Uber Eats, and now I've been doing more DoorDash, but I'm considering just juggling both. There's been so many moments I've wished I've had dash cams installed. I don't just do food delivery. I drive my kiddos to and from school and also therapy, so I'm all over town all week. Love that. Telling you, the sentimental value of dash camera with kids, it's pretty fun. Just these past 2 weeks, I'd say I came to some close calls with multiple cars, and earlier this month, I drove past a collision where one of the cars was literally on top of the other. Whoa, that would have been cool to see. Also, last December, I saw at least 2 cars flipped over. Our city even has an official Instagram page dedicated to accidents and crimes happening in the city. Whoa. What city is that? Long story short, my current home city is rarely dull, and I've wanted a working dash cam for so long, plus a good reason to get back into reading. Currently reading Budget 101 and The Power of Now. Not familiar with those books, but doubt they're as good as mine. Let's see. Let's see if we can see this city. El Paso, I'm guessing, from the from the link. Oh man, my password's incorrect. Sorry, I never log into Instagram on my computer, so we're gonna have to sit this one out. Can't I just get to Instagram? Do I have to log in to search? You didn't just see my password, did you? Sure hope not. Don't have an account. Why can't I just see Instagram? What the heck? Can't I like be on as a guest? All right. Sorry. Whoa. Got a British Army vet here. Very cool. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have clicked the link. Oh, wait. No, this is from Daphne. Daphne, I know. We're good. Yeah, it's El Paso. Okay, cool. No. Daphne's in the chat. She's good people. All right, so right now we got the Uber ambulance and we got close calls in a crazy town. That would be cool to see a car on top of the other car. And Daphne, as you pointed out, what I always emphasize is like there are so many close calls and it's just going to take one time where, you know, it just takes one time where you need a dash camera to prove the truth. But this one I saved for last because I think it's going to be tough to top. Both of those stories and entries were good. A sex injury, always funny. Close calls, sentimental value, very good reason to have an Uber or have a dash cam. But Vaquero from Texas is either almost assaulted or gets assaulted. To be honest, I started reading the story and I stopped reading it because I was like, all right, this is going to be good. I want to have a live reaction with you guys. Let's do it. I was headed to pick up a rider. It was Friday afternoon around 1 p.m. Oh, and this is how the conversation started. We started talking about this last week. We were saying how, like, typically as long as you work during the day, you're in the clear. And Vaquero said that, this happened at 1 p.m. So, daytime. If I'm driving, I'm thinking, oh, this is just going to be an easy ride. As I arrived at the destination, GPS was giving me trouble. So, I decided to contact the rider and verify their pickup location. A woman answered the phone, but the person I was picking up was a man's name. Gotta love that. So, I figured she must have ordered the ride for him. I hate that so much. I was explaining to her I was having GPS. The reason I don't like that, and like, look, it's not always a bad thing, and it's not like I've never ordered an Uber for someone else. But it's just kind of like 80% of the time, I'd say 80% of the time. 20% of the time is totally fine. 20% of the time is just like it was convenient. Everything's fine. But 80% of the time, when somebody's ordering an Uber for someone else, it's like a clear indication that the person who the Uber is being ordered for is like not responsible enough to just handle their own business. It's like, you're a grown person. Like, why aren't you... Uber is literally designed to be as easy as possible. Why aren't you capable of pulling up an account and ordering an Uber? It's either because you've been banned or like, there's just some reason why you need somebody else to hold your hand for such an easy process, And, again, 80%, 20% of the time, maybe it's somebody who's not good with technology. Maybe it's someone who like doesn't have credit cards, so there's no way to link it, whatever it is. But like 80% of the time, it's like, oh, this person is too drunk to even know their name, let alone pull up an Uber. This person is too irresponsible to do this, that, and the other. All right. So, point is, I already do not like this situation as a driver. Figured she must have ordered the ride for him. I was explaining to her I was having GPS issues and I needed to verify pickup location. Just as I rounded a corner, I noticed a tall, slender man by the roadside waving at me. So I proceeded to let her know I found the man I was to pick up, and I hung up the phone. I figured the guy was maybe 6 feet, 1 inches tall, 180 pounds, so thin build, buzzed haircut, wearing mirrored sunglasses. It's a nice detail. Makes a huge difference when you can't see inside the glasses. I like that. I'm going to steal that if I ever need to write about someone wearing sunglasses. I greeted him as he entered the car. He said very little, maybe a mumble, not much of a response. Also hate that. Nothing drives me crazier than when you get into my car, or a car, like whatever. Same thing as a rider. If I get into your car and I greet you, we are two strangers about to share a space together. If you can't say hello, I don't like the way that you operate on this earth. And I'm already like, what's up with you, bud? So I don't like anything about this. The ride was maybe 10 or 15 minutes. We're heading down the frontage road, about to hit the interstate. Before I enter the entrance ramp, he reaches over the passenger seat and lowers the window. Very weird. Mind you, I'm picking up speed 50 miles an hour. I told him, would you mind not doing that? I can turn up the AC if you need me to. I got no answer. He just sat there mumbling incoherently. All right, I hate everything about this. I kept trying to engage in small talk, but it wasn't going anywhere. Now, I don't know if this is why you were doing it, but when I'm uncomfortable, I engage in small talk, not because I'm like trying to be friendly, but because you're like trying to gauge what the hell's going on. I have a feeling that's what you were doing. I was starting to wonder if he was possibly under the influence of who knows what. I'm now on the interstate. I child lock all my windows, so he stops trying to lower any windows, as now I'm at 75 miles an hour on the interstate. 5 minutes later, I'm at the next exit ramp, about to take the city streets to his destination. As I'm navigating through town, he starts raising his voice louder and louder. He starts to tell me that this is his car and I need to get the fuck out. He just goes on a repetitive cycle over and over. Get the fuck out. This is my fucking car. Nonstop. Next thing you know, as I'm making a left turn, he takes off his seatbelt and starts to hit me from behind in my head, continuing with the yelling, constantly hitting me in the head. At this time, I'll scroll up so you guys can see. At this time, I'm in the middle of a residential neighborhood, middle of the day. The only thing that came to me was to remove myself from the scene. My life is not worth a car. Amen to that. Let him have it. I hit him back long enough to take off my seatbelt and get out of my seat. I land in the middle of my street. He gets in the front and takes off in the car. I move over to the curb and sit. A couple cars pass by, but they don't know what just happened. I'm still in shock, so no one asked if I needed help. I call 911, explain the whole story to 911 operator. I must have had a police officer within 5 minutes. I speak to the responding officer, provide my ID. Meanwhile, we are tracking the car with my mobile app in real time. I wonder if we got the author here. Or the it's not even author. It's just like we got the person who went through it. Does your car have an app attached to your phone, or are you tracking it through the Uber app? My guess would be Uber app, which is kind of funny. EMS shows up. They treated me for a laceration on one of my hands at the scene. Nice. Always nice to have an injury from being an aggressor. Solid. I assume that, hitting back. Or defending yourself. And that was the extent of my injuries and a sore head. That sucks. So me, police, and EMS are at the scene where the assault took place, tracking my car. About 10 minutes later, the responding officer told me that they had found my car and found the suspect walking down the street. He was arrested, and I went to the police station to fill out a report and call my wife to let her know what happened. The wheels of justice do turn slow. That's the truth. For all the legal stuff to play out took about a year. That sucks. I chose not to testify, but was able to provide a victim statement. Curious why you didn't choose to testify. I understand, both ways. Obviously, you'd want to, you know, see justice, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't. So if you mind sharing why, I'd be curious. Oh, that's cool that it comes with your vehicle. The suspect was tried, convicted, and sentenced to 5 years in state prison. What? Whoa. About a week later, I just happened to open my center console, and lo and behold, there was a fucking meth pipe. It was 100% not mine, but I 100% know who it did belong to. I called my local police department, informed them of my story, and took it to them to dispose of it. What gets me is the city where this all happened, the police didn't come across it. I'm guessing because they looked at this like an assault and carjacking. Maybe they didn't think to search the car. Who knows? Wow, that's hilarious. Man, I wonder if that is surprising. It is surprising they didn't search the car, but I do wonder if there's an element where maybe they did see it and they were just like, look, we already got this guy for carjacking. We don't want to open up this can of worms. The cops don't know if it's his or yours. They don't want to jam you up after everything you just went through. And, they don't want all the other extra paperwork, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't come across it. Maybe I'm just assuming things. Who knows? Because I'm sure there are cops that would love to do both. It's just cops are people too. They come in all shapes, sizes, and motivations. So that's hilarious. And good on you for bringing it to the police department. What was that like? Were they like, what are you doing here? I'm sure a lot of people will say, if it were me, I would have done this or that. I didn't have a dash cam or weapon of any kind. All I had was my faith in God. I, for one, believe he protected me. I suffered no serious injuries, and I got my car back undamaged. That really is amazing on both of those counts. I really have not spoken outwardly in this kind of format, but your video provided this opportunity, I believe, for me to tell this story. Dash cam giveaway or no dash cam giveaway. Well, that's cool, man. That's really cool. Man, that makes me feel really excited that I'm doing that, and I hope, for everyone that shares stories, whether they win a dash cam or not, I hope they feel that, because that's something that I like about this book. I feel like I'm speaking on behalf of other drivers who, even if we don't have similar stories, we have a lot of similar experiences, and I like just getting our voice out there. This is a side hustle, just extra money to live, pay our bills. That's it. I didn't drive again for 6 months. When I did start again, I just do food deliveries, and sometimes I'm by myself, or other times with my wife, and we do deliveries together. Thanks for hearing me out. Big fans. Love watching content. Thank you very much. Good luck with the rest of your journey. Peace, positivity, and love. Man, we talked about this last week. This actually started last week when you asked if I ever felt unsafe. And it's funny because I remember mentioning that one video, worst Uber ever. It's on my channel. After that ride, it made me very uncomfortable. It still makes me a little uncomfortable when I pick up like 4 drunk dudes. And it's one of those things where, you not driving for 6 months, like, that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, man, that's crazy. It's something that I don't think people appreciate enough as drivers. I know people don't appreciate it enough as drivers, because people always get in the car and they're like nervous about the driver, and they're like, you're not going to kidnap me and all that dumb shit. And there's a part of me where I'm always like, look, you're sitting behind me. If you can't fend for yourself, like, what is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, anyway, yeah, that's a whole different thing. But my point is, like, you are in a very vulnerable position as a driver, and then when something like that actually happens, and it's in your head just how vulnerable you are, yeah, I don't blame you at all for not picking up passengers anymore. And holy smokes, man, that is wild that, this guy's 6'1" and no serious injuries, and you were able to handle the situation, get out of the car. That's pretty badass, dude. That is awesome. All right, let's see these comments. So the app, you track it like OnStar. That's cool. Too traumatic. I just couldn't. Gotcha. To testify. That's what he's saying. See, I'm in the, I don't know if I'm I can't recall like when or why I've had this thought process, but there is always an element of like testifying or like, giving cops your name for like, witness information or whatever it is. It's like, especially like if you're in your own neighborhood or if this happens like in the city you live in or whatever it is, it's like, do you want to like make that connection or make that like, uh, uh, not enemy, but like just like be connected to that person that way because if they don't go to prison or when they get out of prison, like they're going to be in your neighborhood or their friends and family are going to be in your neighborhood, and the way cops work is like they're always there after the fact. So that's something that is really tricky about the criminal justice system. Um, Man, that is first time being comfortable opening up about. Well, I'm really glad you shared that, man. It's a wild story. Was pissed they didn't search the vehicle. The police told us they had no reason to search it. It wasn't protocol because the car was covered. That's an interesting point. And Warner, being that you're from the UK, I don't know what the laws are like over there, but I could see, let's say I obviously believe you. You say you don't even smoke cigarettes. And even if you did, like, if I doubt you would, add this. If it was your meth pipe, I doubt you would add this part in your story. You would either ignore it or you'd be like, man, I had my meth pipe in the glove compartment and I was just so glad the cops didn't find it. So, I don't think there's any reason to make this part up. So, all that said, I wouldn't be surprised if, let's say this was your meth pipe, or let's say you had, you know, drugs in the car, or just something you weren't supposed to have in the car, right? If your car gets stolen and police recover your car, but then they search the vehicle and they find something illegal that belongs to you, I can imagine that you could get a lawyer and sue the government, or even just your defense would be like, it was an illegal search and seizure, Fourth Amendment, I believe. Wander, maybe you don't know nothing about that, Fourth Amendment here, Bill of Rights, USA, baby. But I'm pretty sure the Fourth Amendment is no illegal search and seizure. So the police aren't allowed to search your car unless certain, requirements are met. So perhaps the reason they didn't search the car is because they knew even if they did, anything they found wouldn't be admissible in court. Um, One time I remember driving local taxis. I dropped off this passenger and I just happened to look in the rear seat. For whatever reason, I saw a razor blade on the rear seat. There you go. All right, you got a crazy story. In the UK, if you're a driver, you're responsible for the vehicle even if it's stolen. So would you have been responsible for that razor blade? Um, Man, that is just a wild story. I am maybe I'll put this one up to a vote. A lot of people in the comment section are, uh, part of the story. So I think the vote's already a little biased. But maybe I'll put this up on the community poll. And man, that is so unfair. That is so unfair. I always wondered that while driving, like if somebody like left drugs in my car, like would the cops believe me? Like, dude, this wasn't mine. I'm driving Uber. That's wild. Um, yeah, so I think I'm gonna put this up on the community poll and vote. But I mean, I don't know about you. I think we got a We got a strong leader to go into this. That is just, it's hard to compete with. Well, hey, Wander, I really appreciate the tips. To be honest, I don't know if I sold any books. Oh, you know what I didn't even do? I didn't even put the link on there. So that's kind of on me. It's okay. It's okay. Let's see. Let's see if we got any book orders. I didn't put the link in, so that's kind of on me. It's all good. It's all good. We got some good stories, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting these stories on B-roll so people can read them and get out there. Or like the stories will get out there, so it's not just on the live, you know, and it'll be a little more enjoyable to just listen to the story. I did indeed. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming out. Stay tuned for the poll for the free dash cam, but you know, I think we might know where this winner's going, and then tune in next Friday for another episode of Free Camera Friday, and hopefully by then I'll have that project I'm working on. It could be pretty cool. Man, I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I appreciate that story. I'm like just kind of blown away by like the way, like a lot of, it wasn't just that you got assaulted. There was a lot of twists and turns there. Especially the pipe in the glove compartment. I'm gonna go listen to Semi Charmed Kind of Life now. Song about crystal meth. So Vaquera, that will be for you, dedicated to you and your story, and I'll probably think of it every time it comes on. Think of you every time it comes on. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming out. I will see you next week, and yeah, keep an eye out. Will do. Wander, I really appreciate the generosity today and all the kind words from everyone, including you. And keep your eye out for the community post. I'll probably have it up tomorrow, if not Monday. Wait, maybe not tomorrow. Busy weekend. Community post. Yeah, probably Monday, maybe Tuesday. Just displaying this camera. And I got some more content coming out this weekend. Stay tuned. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't do Rise Again either, to be honest. All right, guys, thanks for coming out. And I will see you next week. Later, guys.